wasn't by design.
And just the way this season is.
Yeah, incredible. Like I told you, can't write a better script, not even you, Tony. And just proud of him for game one against that same team to then bounce back and be so good for this football team. And I honestly do not believe anybody on that sideline had any doubt in their mind that ball was going through the uprights. That's just...
The Bengals, led by Joe Burrow. Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski was very impressed with Shedeur Sanders' ability to fight. He just set the record straight about what he's seen, not only just from what Shedeur Sanders can do on the football field, but from a mentality perspective.
With just hearing you celebrate with your team in the locker room, seeing you, with the final celebration all over you, just how much do you want to continue on with this football team, and do you think that your job can be saved in these kind of...
Respectfully, this game's not about me. I told you guys that.
Kevin Stefanski said it himself that Shedeur is a fighter. After everything he took, Shedeur still made the game-winning plays against the Bengals. What Stefanski is really doing here is protecting himself first, not lifting his quarterback. When he talks about how nothing was by design and how the kick or moment felt automatic, he's trying to make it sound like everything unfolded naturally, like the team always had control. But fans aren't buying that. What they see is a coach who only praises Shedeur after the results are impossible to ignore. Stefanski never starts the conversation about Shedeur's toughness or leadership on his own. He waits until reporters force the topic. That matters. A true believer doesn't need to be cornered to speak up. And when Stefanski says the game isn't about him, it actually sounds like it's very much about him. He's deflecting because he knows the seat is hot. He's saying the right words at the right time in front of cameras to look like a leader, not because he suddenly discovered who Shedeur is, but because winning moments give him cover. Now look at Shedeur's side of this story, and it hits harder. This is a young quarterback who openly admitted he was dealing with mental weight last week and even during the first half of this game. That tells you everything about his mindset. He wasn't just battling the defense. He wasn't just battling pressure. He was battling doubt, noise, and uncertainty about his future. Fans are right to say we should keep him lifted because nobody knows what he's being told behind closed doors. Maybe he's hearing he won't be the quarterback one. Maybe everything is unclear. And yet, when the game was on the line, he stood tall. That's a quarterback who believes in himself even when the system around him doesn't fully believe in him. And let's be honest, he didn't just fight the Bengals. He fought through coaching decisions, weird rotations, and a lack of early trust. People still can't understand how Dylan ever started over him because the difference is obvious. With Shedeur, this team looks alive. Without him, it looks lost. That's why fans are split, but also clear. If Stefanski is fired, people believe Shedeur finally gets a fair chance to grow with someone who actually commits to him. If Stefanski stays, many want Shedeur gone, not because he failed, but because he deserves better. That's a brutal thing to say about a head coach, but it didn't come out of nowhere. It comes from watching a quarterback prove himself again and again, while his coach stays quiet until forced to clap. Stefanski calling Shedeur a fighter now feels late. Fans saw the fight long before the coach said the word. They saw it in the body language, the throws under pressure, the calm in chaos. This wasn't a fairy tale script, but it was a survival story. And Shedeur didn't just save the game. He might have saved Stefanski's job. And everyone knows it.
How important is that moment for Shedeur? It wasn't the easiest game for him.
Yeah, I told him at halftime. I said that's why it's a 60-minute football game. We get to play 30 more minutes, and we were not perfect on offense by any stretch of the imagination, but it came through when we had to come through. Needed to go on a drive there to get in field goal range, made some plays. Again, just a bunch of fighters on that team.
And then with just hearing you celebrate with your team in the locker room, seeing you, with the final celebration all over you, just how much do you want to continue on with this football team, and do you think that your job can be saved in these kind of...
Respectfully, this game's not about me. I told you guys that.
What Stefanski is doing here is trying to sound wise without actually taking responsibility. When he talks about it being a 60-minute game, it feels like a safe, generic line coaches use when things almost fall apart. Yes, Football is 4 quarters, everyone knows that. But saying that doesn't explain why the offense looked stuck early or why Shedeur had to dig the team out of a hole again. Stefanski admits the offense wasn't close to perfect, yet he says it like it was unavoidable, like no one could have fixed it sooner. That's the problem. Shedeur didn't suddenly become a fighter in the second half, he always was. The difference is that the moment forced Stefanski to finally lean on him. When the team had to move the ball, when excuses ran out, Shedeur made the plays. That drive into field goal range didn't happen because of a speech at halftime. It happened because the quarterback kept his nerve and trusted himself when the pressure was highest. The most telling part is when Stefanski gets asked about the locker room celebration and his future, and he instantly shuts it down with, "This game's not about me." That sounds noble, but it rings hollow. If it wasn't about him, he wouldn't need to say it out loud. Fans can see through that. The truth is, this win helps him as much as anyone. That's a shield. It spreads the credit so no one looks too closely at who actually saved the day. Shedeur didn't just fight the other team, he fought through a system that hasn't fully trusted him, through slow starts, and through doubt that never should have been there in the first place. Stefanski avoiding direct praise isn't humility, it's caution. And this is why people are frustrated. Shedeur keeps proving himself in the hardest moments, and his coach keeps giving him polite, delayed approval instead of full belief. When the game was tight, when the team needed a drive, Stefanski didn't make the throws, Shedeur did. When nerves could have taken over, Shedeur stayed calm. That matters more than any halftime quote. Stefanski talks like survival was always part of the plan, but it wasn't. Survival became the plan because things were not working. Shedeur didn't need the game to be easy, he needed it to be real. And when it was real, he showed who he is. If Stefanski wants to talk about fighters, he should start by admitting that the biggest fight came from the quarterback he's been slow to fully back.
Was going to continue to compete. He's a fighter, regardless of the situation that Shedeur Sanders was faced with. He's going to fight, and I think that sent a very good message and a clear message to Jimmy Haslam ahead of the 2026 NFL Draft. I'm going to keep you guys up to date all throughout this offseason, but I'm very pleased with this whole entire situation with Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is one of the only quarterbacks in Cleveland Browns history that has had this type of success when it comes to leading this franchise. So if the Cleveland Browns make a mistake, hey, you just have to put it on them. I just personally feel very positive. I feel very good about this situation. Me personally, I'm believing that Jimmy Haslam will build around Shedeur Sanders, get them some offensive linemen, get them some wide receivers, and then come back with a full training camp, full off season. Shedeur Sanders getting that first team reps, and you name it, look out, man. So it starts with the head coach, though. I'm very interested to see what the Browns do as far as the future. Will they stick with Kevin Stefanski, or will they go?
This whole situation with Shedeur shows something bigger than just one good game. The guy is a fighter. No matter what's thrown at him, he never gives up. That kind of spirit isn't common, especially in a place like Cleveland where quarterbacks have struggled to find success. People who know football see Shedeur as one of the few in Browns history who actually brings hope and energy to the franchise. But what's really frustrating is how much this success feels like it's happening in spite of the team, not because of it. The Browns need to stop blaming Shedeur if things don't go perfectly. If the team stumbles, it's on them for not supporting him properly with the right players and coaching. He has shown he can lead, but leadership isn't just about throwing the ball. It's about being given a real chance to win. Now, fans and experts alike are watching closely to see what Jimmy Haslam and the Browns front office will do next. The hope is that they finally wake up and start building around Shedeur the way they should have from the start, bringing in solid offensive linemen to protect him, skilled wide receivers to give him targets, and most importantly, letting him have a full, normal offseason and training camp where he can grow without constant pressure or doubts hanging over him. Right now, Shedeur's talent and determination are clear, but talent needs support. You can't just throw a young quarterback into the fire without the right tools and expect magic. If the Browns get this right, Shedeur could be a star for years. If they don't, they risk wasting a rare talent because they weren't willing to invest in the team properly. Then there's Stefanski, the head coach who seems to be walking on thin ice. While Shedeur fights every snap, Stefanski has yet to fully show that same fight in backing his quarterback or pushing the team to build around him. People wonder if Stefanski is the right guy to lead this team forward. Will he stick around and fight for Shedeur? Or will he be part of the problem holding this young quarterback? A head coach's job isn't just about calling plays. It's about standing up for your players, especially the ones who fight hardest when the chips are down. Right now, Stefanski's silence and cautious praise feel like he's more worried about saving his own job than helping Shedeur reach his potential. The Browns need a coach who fully believes in Shedeur and will build the team around him, not someone who waits for the spotlight to shine before giving credit. The future of the franchise depends on it. Now look at this. Shedeur faced a tough road to reach this point, especially after being picked in the 5th round when many expected him to go much earlier. Despite that setback, he waited for his chance, which finally came in Week 11 after Dillon Gabriel got hurt. Once he stepped in, Shedeur never looked back and earned the starting quarterback spot for the Browns. Even though there were ups and downs, he showed he was the better choice compared to the previous quarterbacks like Joe Flacco and Gabriel. Finishing his rookie season with a 3-4 record might not sound perfect, but it includes some big wins against top quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow. A clear sign that Shedeur can handle pressure and compete at a high level. What stands out most is his resilience and determination to prove doubters wrong. He came into the NFL overlooked and underestimated, but through hard work and focus, he has already shown he can lead this team and make important plays when it counts. Shedeur's rookie season is just the beginning, and if given the right support, there's no limit to how far he can go. This young quarterback has the talent, the heart, and the mindset to become a real leader for the Browns moving forward. This tweet literally puts everything crystal clear. Shedeur finished his rookie season having started 7 games and played 8, putting up solid numbers that show real promise for the Browns' future. He completed 120 of 212 passes for 1,400 yards, threw 7 touchdowns against 10 interceptions, and had a completion rate of 57.4%. On the ground, he added 169 rushing yards on 21 carries and even scored a rushing touchdown. While the 3-4 record as the team's starting quarterback might not be a winning record, it's important to remember that Shedeur was stepping into a tough situation with a team that's still trying to find its rhythm. For a rookie quarterback, these stats show he has the skill to lead and the toughness to take on challenges on the field. He showed he can make plays with both his arm and his legs and wasn't afraid to fight through mistakes or pressure. Yes, there's room to grow. Every young quarterback has to learn and improve, but Shedeur's effort and potential make it clear that he deserves the chance to be the Browns' franchise quarterback. If the team surrounds him with better support and coaching, there's no reason why he can't become the leader this team has been waiting for. The raw talent, resilience, and drive Shedeur has already shown make him a bright spot and a real hope for Cleveland's future. Anyways, Shedeur proved this season that he's more than just a rookie. He's a fighter ready to lead the Browns into the future. If you believe in Shedeur's potential, hit that like button and subscribe for more Browns updates. What do you think? Can Shedeur become the franchise quarterback the Browns have been searching for?